Evening guys, how we doing? Evening Apple, no worries chap, all good fun. Feeding time at the zoo, love it. How are we doing? Evening Paul, car scale shit. How you doing pal, mate? It's a bit fresh still here, we've been having frost, apparently alley over in Edinburgh's had snow and rain and all sorts of miserable malarkey, but we've been quite lucky here, it's just sunny and cold, and now it's dark and cold. And we'll get back to this shenanigans. I see there's at least 4 people here watching me suffer through this build. So happy days. All good fun. So I was having a little looky-loo at all this crazy malarkey because obviously we have all these bits that we still don't know if they're supposed to be glued or whatever, you know. All them mad bits that took ages. As you can see, I've got silver paint on my hands, unfortunately. But it is what it is. That's another story altogether. So, these things, I was looking to try and figure out what on earth they're for on such a giant kit. And I'm kind of none the wiser because if you remember, the instructions don't tell you anything about gluing or whatever. It just shows you an arrow. You just put it there. There's no explanation. And then when I was looking there, it's again, just put it there. No explanation. And then I looked and I thought, let me see if I can get a gist of where it goes. And then it just says, put it there with an arrow. And then that's it. Then you have a lovely arrow here, just arrows all over the place, saying just stick that there. There's no explanation. And so you're like wondering where on earth and what on earth these things actually do. And then the last clue, and that's it. It's a lovely little picture there of the little triangles that I've just created that are movable. And that's it. There is absolutely no explanation of what they are, what they're for, where they go. So unless you're an absolute train nut and know exactly a train engineer, you're kind of none the wiser as to why they're even on there in the first place. So I definitely think it's one of these kits that's slightly over-engineered and giving you a parts count just because it can give you a parts count, rather than, I mean, that part there, I would imagine more than likely we'll see as we go along, but there's a good chance that that part really could have just been moulded on the actual part itself rather than making us go through all this shenanigans. But there you go, we shall see anyway. Here's an interesting bit. There's one of the sides to the kit. You know, so these bits are going to be going right out here, and then the same that side. So it gives you a kind of gist, and that's very heavy, by the way. You wouldn't want to drop it on your toe. So yeah, basically that's apparently what it's all about. So we shall see. So anyway, we've got to put more of these little buggers together because sure I had to make 8 of them, and we only got 4 done last week. So I need to get the other 4 done. I can remember what I did and how I did it. And then we'll go on to the next silly little bit on it. So one of them, one of them, and one of them. Kind of remembering what I did last time. I say kinda because it is a bit of a nightmare still, remembering what I did and how I did it. But I do remember that we were getting a little bit quicker with it last week. When I was last live. This is the really boring bit of my lives, but at least it's in real time, so you can see everything and do everything in real time. Right, I can get that on there. All fingers and thumbs today, eh? Wait, that bit's on there. I do have Peter here in the shop and Billy today, but because they like to yap away and all that shenanigans, I did tell them to go into the actual shop floor and disappear while I'm on my live, because otherwise you'll hear more of them than anything else. But it's good to see Billy because obviously he's not been well, and he normally pops into the shop, and he's not been in since Christmas because he's not been well, so it's nice that he's here and he's okay, which is kind of my fault because I messaged him and asked him how he was doing because we were worried. Oh, right, that bit's him. And that bit's him. I'll just hold them two bits together for a minute. All good here, overcast, no rain. Oh, you're lucky. For some reason, oh, I nearly fell there. That's not playing ball at the minute, for whatever reason. Oh, for God's sake, what's going on here? Right. Something not right here. Right, I see. So, what's going on here? That one's got no pins on it. Why's that one got no pins on it? Trying to see what's going on with this here. I can't remember what I've done here now. Right, that one goes like that on there. And that one goes on there. This is what I'd done a minute ago, so I don't know why it's not working. Oh man. And it goes and drops it again. Right. Yeah. A little uppy downy bit. Alright Scott, how you doing pal? Right. So, I did think I was going to be a smart person. I nearly said another word. I thought to myself, what I'll do is I will quickly Google this gun, because I've got no idea where some of this stuff goes. My theory was I could watch a YouTube video of somebody else building it and get a rough idea where these different parts go. Sounds like a good plan. Any other time, be spot on. It would work no problem. The only problem is nobody's built the 135th Dora on YouTube. They've done the inbox reviews, but no one's actually built the kit. So it was a bit like, oh dear, okay, so that's not going to work either. So that kind of plan went out of my head and went belly up. Evening, Chris. Your Colter Spitfire is looking pretty smart, buddy. To be honest with you, go back to the old days, Fred, when you went into a model shop and before paying for a kit, asked to see inside the box for the instructions and if agreeable, buy it. But you can't do that online. Yep, and that's what I do allow in the shop here. I do allow people to have a look at the kit. Now, what have I just done there? Yeah, I allow people to look in the box. Not bad if they're just chilling watching you in the rugby in the background. I would be watching the rugby and having me in the background on mute, like, and just ignoring it. Cheers, pal. It was great buy on yourself with masks. Yeah, I see your boy was Chris was on the rugby. I saw that post. Something about the rugby and your local team or something, was it? Something like that. Right, so I've got 3 there. 3 there, 2 there. Right, I'm missing one somewhere. Something's happened. One bit fell off somewhere. See, this is what happens. Stuck to my hands. No. Oh, there he is. Got it. So I glued that side and then the other side's come undone. Don't you love this job? What a joyful hobby. Oh, and there goes that side. See what I mean? Good old. You just love silver art, or whatever they're called. Delightful company. Yes, our local pro team, York Knights. Yeah, I saw something about it, and little Arlo looked chuffed to bits, to say the least. So, happy days. God's sake. Right, this bit fell apart twice now. See if it falls apart once more. It goes underneath the railgun, you're not even going to see it. Not that I would cut corners or anything, but I can see sometimes how it can be quite tempting to do. Right, try and get that back in again. For the 5th time. Yeah. Right, I'm going to leave that like that, and hopefully that should stay in this time. And that one, maybe that's what I should do. Glue the little pieces on, and then mess about with this bit. There we go. One dafty, another dafty bit. Remember, this took like the whole hour last week. I remember it well. And then sure, I've got another 8 to do without the top bar, but still the rest of the bars. Oh dear, what a what we let ourselves in for. Let's try the pins. And we go again. My fingers are far too big for this shenanigans, by the way. Never guess what I found today lurking in a cupboard I've not been in for years. Another Land Raider. I've still got that one here, Afo. I haven't forgotten you, pal. It's still there, shouting at me and calling me. You can probably maybe see it behind me, but maybe not. It is there, right there. And the figures are somewhere too. They are on my list, kinda, at some point or another. You will get to see it, maybe before you're buried or anything, you know, at the rate I'm going, but I will get it. Right, my theory is this time I'm going to try and just glue both pieces so they're like that, and then try and whip that bit in. See if that helps me. Because the other way seems to be quite complicated and awkward. Let's see if this way works, why the glue's still tacky. Right, that's one bit in. See if we get away with it. Excuse me. Oh, it seems to work this way a little bit. That might be a little bit easier. Not that it's going to happen, but if anyone is going to build this, then that's probably the simplest way of doing it. So if you are going to build it, or anyone's watching this in the future, the best bit is to get hold of your little H shape and get hold of your little curvy one and pop that on first on either side, and then give it a minute and then do it. Not Beresford, my body goes to medical science and then they have a barbecue 2 years down the line. Oh, well, that sounds like a plan, pal. I would probably medically science donate my blood. The only slight bit of trouble that they might have with that is whoever got my blood would probably end up being an alkie. I'm trying to get motivated to get some work done on my SAS pinky. Ooh. Now you see, there's a controversial thing on the pinky. Which shade of pink? That's always been a bit of a debate. A bit like whole red and azure blue. What shade of pink is the pinky really? Because there's so many different versions. And has it been sun bleached? Has it this? Has it that? There's so many questions. Oh, come on, you silly little thing. I am proper fingers and thumbs this lately. Yeah. Who'd have thought a few years ago I was scratch building engines for a 1/72 Hurricane, and now I'm struggling with little tiny pieces on a 1/35 2-metre long Dora railgun. Who'd have thought? definitely easier this way. Ish. Just letting that glue set that little bit before you start putting stuff in. So it's still pliable, but not going to fall apart instantly. And there we go. Another one. It gets crazy in a minute because I did read everything. There is some more madness to go yet on these things. Gonna start with a paint mix. The instructions and do some post shading and do some bleaching. Yeah, to be honest, that's probably what I would have done. It's kind of a difficult one, isn't it? Because the minute it got out in the desert and the minute it got sand blasted on it and everything else, it kind of changed everything straight away. Same with the Azure Blue on the Spitfires and Hurricanes, you know, it was the same kind of thing. The minute that sun come out and the sand hit it, changed it within days. So, and especially on a Jeep, you know, or Land Rover or whatever, it's proper in the sand, that, so it's proper getting bad, you know. Yeah, it's probably the best way, to be fair. I suppose it depends on how you want it to look, really. I don't know if they were painted in the field, actually. You know, like see, like the Spitfires and all that lot, they're just dark earth, dark green. You know, it wasn't until they got to Africa and that they actually had the middle stone painted on them. So it was kind of just done standard colour. So I'm just wondering if the pinky was the same, which I don't honestly know, but it could be that the pinky was actually a colour when it left the factory and then completely changed once it arrived. And if that's the case, then it may be that the pink's painted over a darker shade underneath. But who knows? That'd be research. But I do like looking into things like that. Just like I like looking into someone building a Dora, so I've got an idea of what I'm doing here, and just no luck. But the only good thing is, I suppose, is that when somebody else comes around to building a Dora and looks on Google and looks on YouTube and says, I wonder if anyone's done a video on this, at least there'll be one. It'll be me fiddling around talking crap and getting it done, as they say. Evening, Alexandra. How you doing, pal? Right. Yeah, 4 of them done in 25 minutes. Oof. Happy days. Didn't expect that. I thought, here we go, another hour lark. Right, so I've got my little ones who are all moving, singing and dancing with your little extra bit here. Now, this little extra bit there, I've got to build now 8 without that top piece. So that's the 4 with the 8 with the top piece. Excuse me, which is that piece there with the top piece. And now I've got to do 8 without the top piece, just the bottom bit. And then I've got these, which I don't even know if they get attached or not. I've got no idea, but we shall soon find out. Evening, Joe. How you doing, pal? Go for it painting. Hi, chap. How you doing? At least Tim can watch this vlog. Yeah. Tim, if he is watching, or Paul, if you wanna message him. I do have that vampire in 1/32, and it is the last one. I forgot to say earlier, just when you said Tim there. So, we're back on this lark again. I'm cutting more of these. Cheers, Go For It Painting. I'm trying to think who Go For It Painting was. Have I got a little note here? No. I do normally have a note telling me who's what. But there don't seem to be one. I'll message him. No worries. Cheers, Paul. I just remembered when you just mentioned Tim there. Right, so 8. So I've got 16 of these little blighters again, I guess. And then we'll go through it all again. Just one less piece next time. Oh my gosh. I did think about entering a pinky in the competition at Perth, but I think it will be too delicate with all the extra aftermarket to transport. It's a hard one, isn't it? You know, obviously, you know, you don't want to be hitting potholes and what have you. You know, transporting. I know some people use packing peanuts. Put a layer down, gently place the model in it, and then put more around it, and then just leave it like that. And take a pot of glue with them, just in case. I know of others that just use like polystyrene, like you would get at the bottom of a washing machine kind of thing. The big sheets of white polystyrene, and then they use cocktail sticks or whatever, kebab sticks, to hold it in place and pin it into the polystyrene. What's the best way? Hard to say, to be honest, pal. I always hate transporting any models, to be honest. It just makes me nervous, full stop. I've done my lightning a couple of times to shows, and every time the canopy's come off or whatever, and I've had to repair it. So it's a hard one, to say the least. I think a lot of it depends on how far you're going, where you stop putting it when you're driving, all that kind of thing, to be honest. But I know that every model that I know a lot of people that, you know, our club, for instance, they take a display, but they always take a pot of glue with them, because there's always something somewhere that's not quite happened how you want it to be. So, kind of a hard one. I don't think there's really any best way, to be honest. Any movement of any model is just going to be a nightmare. Chances are I'll be taking the motorbike just to make it harder. Yes, yeah, but hey, to be fair though, right, I know you're laughing and whatnot, and I'm laughing, but you see, the other good thing with a motorbike is a little bit, you got half a chance of avoiding the potholes, eh? So it's not so bad thing. That could work out in your favour a little bit. then again, if you're in traffic, you could end up hitting every pothole because the side of the roads are bad as well. So, evening, Richard. I'm good, thanks, pal. How are you? I'm just nipping off all these bits. You can't actually see, but I'm just nipping off bits. I just realised you can't see nothing. I'm just nipping all the bits off of the sprue for this Dora. Yes, we're on to the next 16 bits, or whatever it is. Happy days, as they say. Hi, Ernest. How are we doing? A lot of work. Yes, buddy. Yes, there will be. 1/35 scale Dora railgun. Plenty of work. Lots of work. But we'll get there. We'll get it done. I'm just nipping all these off and then we'll get going again. Ferry journey followed by 4 to 5 hour ride from Norfolk. Yeah, that's right. You're up in Orkney. I remembered. Which is not too bad going really, because I kind of forget who I am sometimes. So. I tell you what I have noticed on this sprue particularly is, I mean, this is the second run that they've ever done with this mould, and there is signs of excess flash already. So that's quite an interesting thing. Already we've got a little bit of excess flash there on the plastic on a sprue. So although this runs fine and the first run was fine, I would imagine the next run, whenever they do it in 5-10 years time or whatever, maybe not as good, unless they change that bit of the mould, because that's starting to show wear and tear already, which is not clever, not for the age of the mould really. It's only ever been done once, so this is the second time, it's second production run, and already it's showing signs of wear and tear on the mould. Just a little thing to keep an eye out for next time. And it's always a good excuse to buy one now, if that's the case, before it gets worse. You like that little sales technique there. All okay. That's a big huge skip, buddy. But what a great choice. Yeah, Tamiya will love the fact that I'm building this for the amount of Tamiya glue I'm going to need to use. And then the paint manufacturers are going to love it with the amount of paint it's going to need. I kind of got a theory on the painting. I think I'm going to kind of paint sections, so each rail section I will I will start to paint then at some point before I assemble, you know, too much. So once I've done this with the wheels and everything else and all the bits on that, I will probably paint it before I put it on the body and keep doing it like that. Probably the best way of going about it, to be honest. So there is a bit, once you get through these pages, where you start getting like this, and then once you get past that bit, then you once you've got past this bit, then it starts to tell you to go on to the next. So when I get to this point, I will probably, when I get to page 5, page section 5 and all that, I will probably then paint that. But what you got to remember is I've got 4 of these to do. So, and I've got all this to do, yeah, on top of all that I'm doing at the minute. So, going to be fun to say the least. I should have done all the H's, shouldn't I? Forgot all my little H's. Where are they gone? They're not even on this sprue. Oh, there they are. Spotted them. I forgot all my little H sections. How can I glue all them together if I've got no H sections? These ones. I need them and all. Should have cut them off when I was doing the other ones. Oh dear. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Nice. All good fun. At least we'll get these on. Especially now I've got that little bit simpler way of doing it. Well, I don't know about simpler, but it's not actually, it's actually a little bit easier than the other ones because it's only got the 2 points with the pivot rather than the 3 pivoting on the last lot I did. So yeah, right, happy days. I'm going to do the same as before. Better still, let's wait till you finished it and then see how the piggy bank's faring up. Yeah, definitely that option. Right, so that one, I'll put one of these on. Oh. Put a bit of glue in there. Trying to get the glue in the middle there, but without getting it between and on your fingers. A little bit more fiddly. Obviously you don't want to leave a beautiful thumbprint in it. There's 2. I think when I do the big parts, I'll be using the EMA plastic weld because it's just a big ball and it's quicker. That's what I use when I'm doing 124 aircraft and stuff. Nice. It's just a bit quicker than the Tamiya then. A bit more volatile as well, so yeah, be a little bit careful with it. Right, there's one side. That was nice and easy. What one on this side? Some great content in the chat. Anyone want to come and join us on the Zoom on Friday? Yes, we say it every week, and every week we run it. I say we, it's more Paul. But if you give me or Paul a message, then you can join in. For model building chat, alcohol, and a good laugh. on a Friday night. Right, so it's a little bit simpler this one because I've not got that extra bar to deal with. So I've got to do 8 of them. So I'm just going to move that out of the way. Crack on. See if I can get these done in this time. Might be pushing my luck here, but we shall see how we go. It's all about trying to find that hole quick. That's the hard bit. Right, and they only go in a certain way round, so I just noticed that. I've just been very lucky so far. And I've just noticed that they only fit one way. I've recorded my first, hang on a sec, I've recorded my first vid for my channel today and now going to my buddy for editing sometime. Oh wait. Cool. Good when you got it on there then. That'll be your first YouTube video, yeah? Hopefully we'll get you enough followers so you can go live at some point. I know that's what you'd like to do. Oh, that bit fell off. Fell out the hole. And that size just fell. Isn't that great fun, eh? Awesome. We were doing so well. Yeah. So what was your first video, Paul? Is that a what's in the box jobby or? Yeah. There we go. We've got 2 done. Not as quick as on that one as I thought I'd be. It was a bit more awkward to say the least. Gets more fiddly. 10 watching on YouTube, 5 likes. Can we get them thumbs up? Oh, you're some man. An intro one. Oh, wait, cool. Awesome. Hey, you got to start somewhere, pal. It's all about. It was all there once. We've all done our first YouTubes and all that. The only bit of advice I would give you when it comes to YouTube, if you're kind of nervous about it, is explain what you're doing as you're doing it, like I do, ish, and completely ignore the cameras and forget about them. That's the best advice I can give. Just ignore them. As long as they can see your hands and what you're doing, that's all that matters. We'll do an inbox one soon. Good man. I look at the chat, I ignore the cameras. And I cannot stand the cameras and I cannot stand my voice, by the way. I had somebody trying to watch one of my videos in my shop and I told him to turn it off. I don't want to hear it. I hate it. I cannot watch myself, and I can get why people who make movies and that don't watch themselves because they hate it, and I totally get it. There you go. Happy days. There's a third one. We're getting there. Then all these have got to join together somehow. Why it gets joyful, this kit. Right, next one. You got 4 done. What we got? 47. We'll get there, I think. I'm being optimistic. And basically the idea is when I get fed up or a little bit, or I get a bit had enough of this for a little while, then I'll start on the USS Constitution. And then when I get a bit annoyed with that one, I shall jump back on this one. And we'll just keep going like that. At the moment this has been okay-ish. Right. We shall continue. Ooh. Yeah. That's another one done. Right, 4 more to go. And then we'll see what else they're trying to wind me up with. Oh. Happy days. That's a shop phone ringing. That's a shop phone ringing. I wonder if it's that guy again, eh? So Perth shows the 26th, 27th this year of April, and Scale Scotland's normally the 6th of September, but this year it will be the 20th. No idea why, but I shall be at both. So I will not be live them dates for sure. Or if I am, it will be at the show, messing about, running about, having a bit of fun, rather than being at the bench on a Dora railgun. Oh. Now, that's another one done. Peter. Peter.
What?
Who is that, pal?
Sorry?
Who is that?
Women asking about vouchers. vouchers.
Oh, wait, you tell her we do them?
Sorry? Yeah, I told her we do them.
Oh, wait.
Only in store.
Yeah. No worries. Cheers, pal. There you go. Someone lady phoning up about if we do gift vouchers. Because we do them. But they're only valid in the shop. Because there is no way of me keeping track of the gift vouchers and being spent online, because then it'd just be a code, and there's always that risk that someone else will use the code and exploit it and whatever. So we do vouchers, but just in the shop, because they have security marks on them, and I know what ones I made and who I sold them to, so it works out a little bit better that way, safer for me. But it's handy at Christmas times and all that. Some people want them. Christmas and birthdays. Oh, we're nearly there. Oh, 52. Can he do it in 8 minutes? Or 7 minutes? I'm not going to rush. I think we'll make it. Oh dear. I bet you heard that as well, didn't you? Because this microphone picks up every sound. You've probably heard that little muttery word. But I'll deny all knowledge of it. I know nothing. Right, there's another one. 2 left. Ooh. Ooh. Should have put money on it, huh? Oh, there's a message now. Private message and a whatever that was, notification of some sort. I'm not looking though, because then I won't make it in time, eh? Now, obviously, I can't count because I forgot to cut 2 of my U-shaped pieces, Y-shaped pieces, whatever these are, off the sprue gate because I'm 2 missing, and that's purely because I forgot to take them off the sprue. That kind of messed up my timing now. But that's life. There you go, there's another one. We have 1 left to do. But no half moony shapes to do it. I haven't dropped any. Nope, so they must be still on the sprue. I've missed for some reason. Obviously I've not been paying attention when I was doing it. Well, not on there. That's them 2 bits. Okay, I'm definitely 2 bits somewhere else. I've got a seed bag. I had a bag with seed written on it. There it is. Yeah. Oh, there they are. There's 2 there. That's 2 cut off. And 2 are cut off. Nothing in the bag. That's cut off. 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 Interesting. Right. I shall figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, and that's the 8th. Right, there should be 2 more somewhere. And I must have cut them off. And then I've gone and touched it with my arm, or talking to Carpet Monsters, Fred. Did you find that bit from last week's show? Yeah. Short answer, pal. No. Basically. And I don't even think it's a carpet monster. I think it's just a monster. Oh, there's it. Found it. No, I haven't found it yet, Athol, to be honest, pal. Kind of annoying, to say the least. But I will have another look. I did look 3 times and it's completely vanished. And it's such a tiny little piece, it's unreal. And annoying because this last part, which I'm doing now, is the part I need to complete this frame. And it's the carpet monster that I've got to hunt through to find. I have been keeping an eye out. So it's a little half moon shape. It's a little one of these little half moon ones that I've been gluing on that holds that pivot, basically. That's basically what it does. So that's what's missing, or not missing, that's what the carpet monster's eating for me to put that piece on, which will go that side. So I shall have another little hunt around and see if I can find him, and if not, I'll scratch build that little tiny piece. So that's an hour, but at least in an hour I've done literally 8 frames there plus 4 of the others, so that's better than the 4 I did in an hour last week. So I've gone 3 times quicker than I did last week. Next week I've got these things here that still doesn't tell you if they glue on or not, which is kind of typical, and there's no way really, to be fair. I think that they're just going to sit there and float in thin air, but there you go, that's what the instructions tell you. So we'll whip them on next week, and then we have to start assembling these frames, and then they attach to them frames that I've just done somehow and joined together. So that's kind of next week's messing about. And then apparently they go under here at some point where my thumb is, as you can see, and they go there onto there, which goes onto that arrow, which goes to that arrow, which goes to that arrow, and then that pops over the top and goes to there. Yeah, you get the gist. Right, old cobblers, eh? But anyway, that's where we'll be at next week. We will be on that section. I shall leave all that like that. It's not going to go anywhere. and it will still be sitting like that next week, and hopefully this one will have that extra part sorted out and found and worked on there, and we'll hopefully start looking like we're actually getting somewhere. Once all this bit's assembled, you see, once I've done all this bit and it goes underneath that thingy-bob that's on there, and you start assembling it, then I think once you start putting the wheels together, which look not too bad, then I think it starts to come together quite quickly, that bit. So it shouldn't be as bad after that, but at the moment it's a bit all that work and hardly anything to show for it, but we'll get there. Happy days. So all good fun. Last week cutting eight of each part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, 8 times 8, and gluing together 4 parts took the full hour. This week we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts times 8 to cut off, and we've glued together 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 parts. So 12 parts and cutting off that much, and last week was only 4 parts and cutting off that much. So I think it's definitely worth doing the little half moons, leaving it a minute and then putting the other parts in, even though it doesn't tell you anything on the instructions. So my only tip for that stage is do it that way if you're going to do it. That's about all I can say really, because it's like, I've still got to try and find that carpet monster bit that I can't find anywhere. It absolutely vanished from wherever. But I shall glue a part on and figure it out. So anyway, that's it for now. I've got to lock the doors, close up the shop and go home. I have my day job tomorrow, so next Saturday we'll be back here again, carrying on. Happy days. Thanks guys for popping by, comments, chit chat, thumbs up, likes, whatever. Pardon me. Happy days. I appreciate it a lot. Like Paul said, if anyone wants to join in a Zoom chat on a Friday, about 8 o'clock till stupid o'clock at night, whenever time it is when we decide to roll home to bed, we do a Zoom chat, model chat, drinking, laugh, banter, whatever you want to call it, bit of everything. Got to be a bit thick-skinned to join in, but it's a good giggle. No worries, Paul. I'll see you later, pal, anyway. And you know where I am if you need me, basically. And we'll carry on again next week. Try and get this massive box to a smaller box. Happy days. So take care guys, stay safe, and you know where to message me if you need me. Oh dork, no worries pal. Good to see ya. 6 o'clock next week, UK time, and we'll be about pal for an hour, and we'll carry on with a Dora railgun in 1/35 scale. Happy days. See you later guys, you take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.